So
Right.
yeah, I just want to go back a little bit and just talk a little bit about the shiny object syndrome, because it's something that not even just entrepreneurs suffer from. It's something that like everyone kind of suffers from, be it your personality type and so on. So I just want to talk about how you and Mia, who I wish was here by the way, hopefully she's doing well. I want to know from your guys' perspective how you kind of overcame that shiny object syndrome to start and focus and narrow down for your own business. Because shiny object syndrome can derail anyone. That's probably one of the biggest things that derails people when they're just getting started. The first 5 years is just filled with fucking shiny object syndrome because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You like social media companies, they like it, all it is shiny object syndrome. That's what social media is. So it's so hard to like narrow down and focus. So I want to hear about how you and Mia both ended up focusing down from your shiny object syndrome in the past.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the main reason we had shiny object syndrome in the first place was after we came out from traveling, we was working in a supermarket. So we didn't have a ton of money coming in. So all of our decisions we made were out of scarcity and make money quickly. So I think when you have an idea, okay, now whatever that idea is, let's say you want to start up a social media agency, right? You need to know, again, it comes back to the reason why you want to do that. If you want to do it just for money, that's perfectly okay. Then strategize on how you can most efficiently get this set up and running and be committed to making that happen. Because here's the thing, right? Drop shipping is going to work. Social media marketing is going to work. Whatever your business model you've seen that you want to work, it will work. But I think the reason we had shiny object syndrome was because we would test it, not be fully committed to doing it. We wouldn't see immediate results. And then we try the next thing, okay? So I think when you have your idea, know the long-term vision for it. And that is like what I would give any advice. Now, how we overcame this was just through going through it for like 3 years of trying loads of different ideas, failing, having setbacks. So I do think there is that kind of in anybody's journey where they need to go through it to kind of understand it. But define your goal from the beginning and run with it, and don't give up until you do it. I think it was Russell Brunson who said, if you enter a marketplace, don't change until you make $1 million in it. So it's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of people who may be watching this right now who are maybe second thinking their social media marketing agency. But if myself and Evan are succeeding in it, then you can do it as well. But you just need to go through the steps in the process to understand what works, what doesn't work. And if you go off topic or you go off track, you're going to not be able to understand it. And I think another thing is, you know, the grass always looks greener on the other side. So you see an ad with a guy who's running drop shipping ads, how I made 10K in one day, and you think, oh, he only ran one product and made this. Let me just try that. But little do you know that the nitty gritty bits that go into that. But to answer your question, how do we overcome it? We went through it. And now I can tell you, don't go through
it. That's the only thing you can get. You just have to go through it. Like whenever people mention shiny object syndrome, people are like, oh yeah, whatever. But you have to actually like face that adversity first and try to overcome 100%. It inside your head, because then you're just like, that's the mindset that you're going to have from then on in. It's one of those things that you've learned and you're like, oh, like I'm just going to go straight forward now. I've learned like, oh, hey, maybe I'm not really into this. I need to actually sit down and focus on something.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yeah. Cause I had like funny, you kind of say like, you have to actually physically go through the motions and stuff. I just saw a young kid reached out to me. I think it was from New York. 17-year-old kid runs his own social media marketing agency and reached out for an interview. I thought it was really weird that he reached out to me for an interview. Because I don't have that many subs on like my YouTube page. Like as of right now, I think I have like 600, just over 600 or something like that. This kid reaches out to me. He's like, hey, let's do a collab. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like sure. Like message me on Instagram. I'm much more active than on like YouTube. Cause sometimes I don't get notifications on YouTube. Like I'm sure you realize like people will comment on it. You don't even get a notification for it.
Exactly.
Which is kind of weird, but whatever. That's a YouTube issue. But I told him to message me on Instagram. He messaged me on Instagram. He has like 110K followers. And I was just like, what the heck? Who the heck is this guy? And so he's just like, yeah, I need to interview you. He's like a 17-year-old kid, like super young, super like go-getter, who manages this Instagram page. And yeah, he was a very interesting kid, but he's like very full of energy. I don't know if he suffers from like shiny object syndrome or something, but he wants to release a course. But it was like what you mentioned, you have to actually go through the motion.
Yeah.
he wants to release a social media marketing course and stuff. And I think he's doing some research, like one of the Sam Evans principles of like interviewing 25 to 30 people that are in a similar field as you are. And I think he was kind of, I don't know if he was going through it, because I don't even think he ever done a course before, because that's the point that I'm kind of making. He wanted to make a social media marketing program without ever doing a course. So it's one of those things where I was just kind of thinking like, yeah, but don't you want to like actually like go ahead and like do the work, like go in and see like what your competition is doing kind of thing, and like actually go in there, invest, and like go ahead and like do the work inside of it and see if it could be a benefit to you. He's like, oh no, like YouTube's like perfect. But I'm like, as a 17-year-old, like one of those things I'm like, oh, like very, like, I don't want to say he's narrow-minded. Like he's super open-minded to a whole bunch of different things, but he's one of those things where it's just like very, very like narrow-minded, young kid and stuff.
Yeah.
And really just wants to like work super, super hard and like on YouTube and just get his information from YouTube. But I'm like, YouTube's a multi-billion-dollar company that pays people hundreds of millions of dollars a year, addiction analysts, hundreds of millions of dollars a year to keep you on the platform so you don't do anything. Like that's the whole point.
That's it, man.
So I'm like, a course, like a program, if you actually sit through it and like go through it, it's like one at a time. Like all the information's right there so that you don't get distracted and stuff. Like
exactly.
You recommended here what to watch next. Oh, did you check out this Gordon Ramsay video? But hey, I'm gonna put it on.
That will get you, man. That will get you.
That'll get me every time. That fucking gets me. There, I'm like, oh, there goes 46 minutes of my life like just watching Gordon Ramsay. But yeah, it's one of those things like you have to go through the motions. You have to actually like suffer through shiny object syndrome and see like, oh my God, I have to actually like go through the trenches and like go through the motions to actually overcome something. It's the full hero's journey. It's the full circle of kind of going through it.